Alright, so what we're going to do here is just practice some of the skills that we've learned so far in the probability unit, because tomorrow you're going to be taking 2 quizzes on Khan Academy based on everything we've done so far. So the first scenario is we have a set A and it contains all integers between 5 and this should actually say -5, so let me just change that. -5 and 4. So all integers between -5 and 4, and I'm just going to write those out. Not that you would be asked to do that probably, but it's good to see them. So that's -5. They got to be whole numbers because they're integers, so -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 10 integers. So it's good that we're going to have 10 numbers to work with here. We're going to get some nice fractions. And then they say let B be a subset of A containing only odd numbers. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to write that out just to organize our thoughts. So all of the odd numbers that are in that group A, well, that's going to be -5, -3, -1, 1, and 3. Those are all my odd integers. And let C be a subset of A containing only perfect squares. So which of these numbers are perfect squares? Well, negative numbers are not going to work because if you take the square root of a negative number, you get an imaginary number. So we are not going to count those. But of our positive numbers, which of these are perfect squares? It's just 1 and 4. Okay, so it's good that we've got those sets outlined. And now we can answer these questions. So 1 is asking us to calculate the probability of B and calculate the probability of C. So the probability of choosing an element of set B is going to be out of our total possibilities, which in this case are 10, right? Because that's the number of possible outcomes in the greater set A. How many of them are also in set B? Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So 5/10. And be sure you reduce that to 1/2. That was an issue that we had a little bit last week. People forgetting to reduce those fractions, so do not forget that. The probability of C is again out of 10 because C is a subset of A. And how many elements of A are also in C? 2 of them, or 1/5. Now let's talk about the intersection and the union of these two sets. So what's the probability of B intersection C? Or in other words, the probability of selecting an element of A that is in both B and C. And if I go through here looking for numbers that are in both, -5 is not, -3 is not, -1 is not, but 1 is, 3 isn't, 4 isn't. So there's only one number that's in both set B and set C. So the probability of B intersection C is going to be 1/10 because only one of those numbers is in both. But if I ask the question, how many numbers are in B or C, this is where we should probably get out that union formula, which says that it's going to be the probability of B plus the probability of C. But we know from experience now that when we just count up all the elements of B and all the elements of C, we will have double counted the elements that are in both. So now I can calculate this a little bit easier. The probability of an element being in B we determined to be 5/10, and the probability of an element being in C is 2/10, minus the probability of the intersection. These are all things we've calculated so far, and so that's going to leave us with 6/10 or 3/5. So this is just practice. Hopefully when you did this on your own, you got these answers as well, but I would encourage you to pause the video, try to do these, and then watch me finish the solution to make sure you're doing it correctly. Okay, so on to another example here. This time you've been given a Venn diagram. This diagram shows the number of people in a crowd, and that group is represented by C. So this is indicating that these are all the people in a crowd. There are 2 subsets of the crowd. O here represents the people in the crowd who are over 60, and G represents the people wearing glasses. So all the people in the crowd are in this Venn diagram somewhere in this data, and now we're asked to determine a bunch of information based on that data. So first of all, what's the probability of selecting someone who is in group O, or in other words, someone who's over 60? Well, these are all the people over 60, and there are 17 of them. So that would be 17 out of the whole group. And we have to add up all these numbers to figure out how many total people there are in this crowd. So 33 plus 10 is 43, plus 16 is 59, 60. So there are 60 people in the crowd. So if in 2 I wanted to find the complement of that set, all I would need to do is just subtract, right? So I just need to figure out how many people are not over 60. All right, so 60 minus 17, because it's the whole minus the probability of O, and that leaves me with 43 out of 60. And I could check and make sure that this works. This plus this should equal the whole. It should be 60. And 17 plus 43 is 60, so we're in good shape there. All right, the probability that someone wears glasses. Well, these are all the people that wear glasses, so that's 26 people. 26 out of 60. I should reduce that to 13 out of 30. Want to reduce these fractions when we can. And so then the probability of someone not wearing glasses is just the complement of that set, which if I use subtraction here is going to be 17 out of 30. Or 34 out of 60, and 34 plus 26 is 60. If I calculate the intersection, again, we're still talking about out of 60. And out of 60, how many of them are in both the over 60 group and wearing glasses group? And those are these people. So the intersection is always found right there in the middle of these Venn diagrams. So 16 people are both over 60 and wearing glasses. And so that's going to be, if I reduce it, I can divide 16 and 60 each by 4, and that gives me 4/15. All right, and now the union. So while the intersection is just this middle slice, the union is anyone who is either over 60 or wearing glasses. So these people do count, but so do these people and these people. And this is why we use the formula, the union formula, to help us visualize this. Because we know from looking at the Venn diagram that it's just going to be 1, 16, and 10 all put together. So I know that it's going to be 27. All right, but let's prove why that is, just because we want to get in the habit of using that union formula. So that's going to be the probability of O plus the probability of G minus the intersection. And we know those numbers, right? So the probability that somebody is over 60 is 17/60ths plus 26/60ths. Okay, so now we are up to 43/60ths. And don't forget, we still have to subtract the intersection. So 43 minus 16, because our intersection is 16, gives us 27. So 27/60ths. We're going to extend this and talk about conditional probability here. So there are a couple more questions related to the same exact situation. All right. Let's calculate the probability that somebody is over 60 given that they are wearing glasses. And let's revisit our formula that we use for conditional probability. So this is going to be the probability that someone wears glasses will be my denominator. That's the number of possible outcomes. And our numerator is the intersection of these two events. All right, so how many people wear glasses? Well, there are 26 people wearing glasses at this event, whatever it is, in the crowd. And then of those 26 people, how many of them are both over 60 and wearing glasses? And that's just these 16 people. So 16 out of 26, I can reduce that to 8/13. And now one more conditional probability here. What is the probability of someone wearing glasses given that they are over 60? If I use my formula, then I need the probability that someone's over 60 to be my number of possible outcomes. And the number of desired outcomes is the intersection of these two events. So how many people are over 60? there are 17 people over 60. And of those 17 people, how many of them are both over 60 and wearing glasses? 16 of them. All right, so that's a few examples of conditional probability, unions, intersections, sort of everything that we've done so far. And then you should practice. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go on to Khan Academy and maybe find some practice problems related to this, maybe one with a table that you could use to practice for tomorrow.